Yo, what's good everybody? Yugioh for you. I'm here with my Yang deck profile for the January 2015 format. Pretty much OCG style. This deck is not legal, of course, in TCG because I'm using some OCG cards. But of course, it will be legal in the near future when these cards come out in the TCG and crossover souls. If you want to see a perfectly TCG legal Yang deck, you can cross over to the Yu-Gi-Oh! Council. I will have a annotation with the link to the video whenever that video is uploaded. But if you're not already subscribed to the Yu-Gi-Oh! Council, go subscribe because I'm going to start posting more content on there and exclusive videos onto the Yu-Gi-Oh! Council for your viewing pleasure and their viewing pleasure. It's kind of a cross promotion, but it's Yang Zing, and it's a really fun deck. I am using the new pendulum here. I was trying to wait until the other pendulum monster came out with the scale of 7, but it seems like it's going to take forever for DevPro to get it, so I decided just to go ahead and crack and just say, screw it, let's test it, why not, get the ratios down for this guy, and then we can figure out the ratios for the next one, because I really want to try sort of like a pendulum build of the anything, because I think that could be pretty cool and pretty successful, and give it some necessary speed it needed. But anyway, let's get started with the deck profile. So first up, we have 3 Chubin Light of the Yang Zing, 3 Suwani, 2 Beyond, 2 Bixie, 1 Pualo, 1 Toati, 2 Giotto, 3 Saphira Fuxi, a Masked Chameleon, and a Exoace Ultimate Forbidden Lord. Now, right now in my TCG version, I am playing 3 Beyond, but I decided to drop Beyond down from 3 to 2 because of the new guy, Fuxi. Mainly because of the fact that Fuxi is a level 3 monster, so it makes Beyond not necessary at 3 anymore. I still find Beyond to be very necessary because of the effect, but since you have now, another level 3 target you can go into, you don't really necessarily need the 3 Beyond, in my opinion. Just how I feel. Basically, you should, in my opinion, you should know the things do. Suwani gives a synchro monster boosted by 500 attack and defense. Beyond prevents it from being destroyed by battle. Bixie makes it pretty much can't be affected by traps. Puala makes the synchro monster unaffected by spells. Tuatu makes the synchro monster not being able to be switched, so you can't could swap it, snatch shield and stuff like that. Giotto pretty much allows you to go for easy rank, not easy, easy level 8 synchros, or just any synchro in general. It's really, really powerful. It's a really good card, it really is. And it just, anytime you may have a brick hand, in my opinion, Yankees don't really have brick hands because you can just set it and float. But if you have some Yankees you don't really want, like you have a Chew, and it's like, oh, I can just have that graveyard and not really care, and just ditch something else, and it's like, oh, now I can just smash them in and just go for like a level 8 synchro or a level 6 or whatever you want to go for. But the main attraction is the Saphira Fuxi, Treasure of the Yangtze. Now this is a really cool card. And apparently a Java update is ready to be installed, which, okay Java, I'll update that when I'm done. Thank you. I probably should update it, but I do after the video. Basically, when this card is special summoned from the deck or is pendulum summoned, you can target one Yangzing monster you control except for itself, and it becomes a tuner monster. And if you activate this effect, place this card at the bottom of the deck when it leaves the field. You can only use this effect once per turn. That's really cool because before, you were basically limited on the tuners you had, which was Jiao2 and Chun, but now you can have like a level 4 tuner Suwani, a level 3 tuner, hell, a level 5 tuner. It's just a lot of things you can do with Fuxi, and I really like him a lot. It's a card that is just amazingly powerful, and it's just really, really good. And just opens up more versatility, opens up more plays, and the fact that if you use the effect and it goes to the bottom of the deck means you have, in a sense, almost always a Yangzing monster you can go into. The downside to Fuxi is the fact it's a pendulum monster, so if it's destroyed, it goes to the extra deck, so you can't really just have it in the graveyard for things like Yangzing Path and stuff to recycle it. So you have to be careful with that, so it won't really float unless you have things like Yangzing Creation on the field, which it will, in a sense, give it a float, but not as good as if you had like a Suwani or a Chewin or something like that had the floating effect. But overall, it's still a really good card. Now, we're playing the one Masked Chameleon just because of the fact that, it's a free Baxia play. It's a free level 7 synchro play, and who doesn't love those types of plays? Mass Chameleon does have that downside of when you use effect, you can only special them from the extra deck, and if you have a level 5 or higher monster you can on your field, you can't normal summon him. So he does have those typical downsides. That's kind of, yeah, it makes him like, why would you play him? But I think the things you can go into. In a sense, Mask Chameleon is a free out card, which is really, really cool. That's why I like Mask Chameleon. And then finally, we have Exodius Ultimate Forbidden Lord, which is amazing in the deck. This card is really awesome. I like him as a 1-up. I kind of want to try him at 2. I don't know. I think I might be pushing it. But, again, it's something I have yet to actually try out, so I can't really say, oh, it works perfectly or not. But the reason for Exodius is just because you can burn through the deck extremely fast. Because it floats. That's what it does. You're going to float. Especially if like multiple creations on the field and stuff, you can easily float. I know you have things like Yanking Path already in the deck, which is like a pot of avarice. But it only allows you to return 3. And draw 2. It's good, but what if you could just turn all your shit, including things in your extra deck, and just kind of reset your deck, and just basically, your opponent thinks they gone through all your deck, okay, reset everything, and now your opponent's pissed off because now they have to deal with the floating all over again when they thought they dealt with it already. So, it's a really nice card. And plus, since he's level 11, level 10, you can combine with things like Chewing and go for like a Star Eater, which is really nice. So for the spells, of course, we have the double Yanking Path, double MST, we have double Dark Hole, Book of Moon, Snatch Steal, and Soul Charge. Now, Dark Hole, I love it in this deck. It's just so good because it's one of these decks that doesn't give a shit if you Dark Hole. And I think it's one of these decks that can really abuse Dark Hole to its fullest potential, in my opinion. Due to the fact that it's like you Dark Hole your field, okay, I don't really give a shit because I float anyway, so I get more monsters, you lose your monsters. And I know people are probably going to say, oh, what about the, Burning Abyss and Shadow and stuff like that. If you're finding one of those decks, and you notice I don't have a side deck because, I play mainly singles online, which is how I am. I like to test hands instead of just matches. But if you're if you're a type of player who likes to play matches more instead of singles, you can easily side out the Dark Holes against those matchups. It's something that it's an obvious switch out, but it's still a very good card for other matchups. Other decks that are hurt by Dark Hole more than things like the meta, and it's almost a mirror match. So it's just being prepared for other decks, not just worrying about like 3 decks. I'm not that type of player who only thinks about 3 decks. I think about the overall thing and overall playability of decks. Only 2 Yanking Path because, well, 1 we have Exodius and 3 gets kind of clunky. I have played 3 in the past. It does work, but 2 is really all you really need. And I think the rest is self-explanatory, really all it is. As for the traps, you have 3 Yanking Creation, Warning, Torrential Bottoms Compulse, 2 Deep Prison, 2 Breakthrough Skills, and then 2 Oasis of Dragon Souls. Pretty much what this goes is Creation is your go-to trap card because it just allows you to float even more and allow you to go for your single plays much more effectively. The Breakthrough Skill over Skill Drain is because I still want my synchro effects as well as things like Mask Chameleon, but I do like, because one thing I am building this deck IRL and I am side decking the Skill Drain, so I can take out the Breakthrough Skill and put in Skill Drain, but I think having that free double negation is always good to have. And Phoenix Chain, as much as I do like Phoenix Chain, I feel like this deck can't really fully utilize it. Can't really utilize Phoenix Chain, unlike a deck like, say, like Blackwing, just have Vulcan the Divine, which can easily bounce back that shit. So, you can do it, you can Vulcan in this deck, but, Break the Skill is more better. And then the Oasis of Dragon Souls, very, very good card. I love this card on the deck. It's just free summoning, so it is really nice. You can either play this as a Call the Haunted or Oasis, or you can just not play it at all, play something different, but I really like this card on the deck. It's pretty good. So anyway, onto the extra deck, we have 1 Herald of the Arclight, very powerful card on the deck. 2 Armadas, very good against the Mirror Match, and of course other random decks, like Shadows and stuff. Yugioh Guardian, because who doesn't like stealing shit? Black Rose Dragon, because Black Rose Nuke is fun. A very, very good card that I'm trying out in the deck, and it's been doing pretty well, is Clear Wing Synchro Dragon. For those of you who don't know what this card does, It's a generic level 7 synchro monster that once per turn during either player's turn, when another level 5 or higher monster on the field activates its effect, you can negate the activation, and if you do, destroy it. That's pretty cool. That's a really cool effect, considering the fact that, yeah, I know, like, well, some of the two of the best decks, they use Xyz monsters, so it won't affect them. Well, it doesn't really give a shit because it can work against Clifford's, and it works against other decks that are single variant decks, as well as decks that can kind of do both. So yeah, it's still a very good card in that effect. But once per turn during either player's turn, when a monster effect is activated that targets exactly one level 5 or higher monster in the field, and no other cards, you can negate the activation, and if you do, destroy it. If this card destroys a monster by its own effect, it gains attack equal to the destroy monster's original attack until the end of this turn. It's a really, really cool monster. And if you can get it out combined with things like Bixie and Pualo, it's going to be a really big force to be reckoned with because it's level 7. So if you kind of think about it, you've got, 5. You can go like Chewin plus Tuwani plus Bixie equals it because that's now level 7. And now it's at a grand total of 3,000 attacks unaffected by traps. Or you can go into like Jiaoto plus Bixie plus Pualo. And then actually before actually not, yeah, and then plus like Beyond, and there you go. It's Campus Bright Battle, unaffected by traps, unaffected by spells, and there you go. That's just one way you can go into this, and it's just going to just sit there in the field forever and ever and ever, which is really cool until they decide to 1-on-1 or something like that. So, but if you try to 1-on-1, I can negate the effect anyway, so it's really cool. Next up, we have two Yazi Evil King, Evil of the Yang Zing. Very, very good card. Like it a lot. Can't be targeted by card effects. It's a scrap dragon for the deck, and when it's destroyed by battle by card effect, it's into the graveyard deck, especially one worm type monster from your deck and defense position. So opens up a lot of plays there. Just opens up a lot of defensive plays. Very good card. A very, very good card. Then we have Thor of the Archfiend, which is pretty good. It's a pretty good card, especially because even though I get people like, oh, it's not. It's a trapless form like the Clifford stuff. Yeah, maybe a trapless format to an extent, but other decks are playing bunches of traps because of the lack of heavy storm. So again, kind of like the Dark Hole thing. Be prepared for everything. If you got the room, put it in. And Thor of the Archfiend is not really expensive, so why not? Then we have the Bilzy, which is your god OP as shit in the deck. If you play your cards right, if you play your hand right and your monsters right, you can get a Bilzy on the field that basically covers all his weaknesses outside of freaking monster effects. Which, speaking of that, Konami, make a Yang Zing monster that makes a synchro monster unaffected by monster effects, and now you got a very good tier 1 deck, because shit, bring a monster out that's unaffected by traps, can't be with battle, unaffected by spells, unaffected by monster effects. Yeah, you're pretty much golden there. That's like Golden Wind City there. We have two Big C Brightness of the Yang Zing, because it's just tiramisu. Like, hell, why wouldn't you want to play a monster that can bounce shit back to the deck? That's just freaking awesome. And a good combination is using Jiaotu. Jiaotu Sin2, then you use special like there's multiple monsters, like 2 monsters, like a Suwani and a Bixie. It's like, okay, there you go. You got 6, 8. There you go. Return 3 cards back to the deck, and there you go. That's just really awesome. Then you have the Mistworm right here, because Mistworm is awesome. If it was Trish was legal, I'd use Trish, but she's not legal. Sadly, she's still banned in TCG. I don't know why they won't bring her back. I miss Trish. Anyway, we got Leo, the Keeper of Sacred Trees. Very, very powerful card. Dear God, this card is just so good in the deck. Sort of like BLZ, but even better, because if you can get this thing unaffected by spells and traps, getting a good boost in attack, you now have a unstoppable monster that just literally will laugh at your opponent while they try to get over it, which is very hilarious. And finally, our Star Eater, because Star Eater is awesome. Like I said, Chewin plus Exodius equals Star Eater. And plus, there's other ways to get it out, and Star Eater is just a really awesomely powerful card. So, but anyway, that is Yang Zing with the new Pendulum Monster. Deck will be updated when the other Pendulum Monster comes out. The scale of 7. I can't remember his name on top of my head. Whenever he comes out on Dev Pro, because I'll be testing him out. And ratios. Sorry about that. But anyway, give me your thoughts on this deck in the comment section below. If there's just for the deck, I'm happy to hear things out and all that stuff. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Okay, quick to attack the main of the deck profile. Actually, forgot I had it. Actually, so that's why I ended it off on the deck profile. But there's actually a duel I want to just put in because there's a pretty fun duel. Only one duel, so I didn't think it was fitting enough to just be one video. Because replays tend to be pretty fast. And about 1, 2, 3 minutes long. And I don't feel like uploading a max 3-minute long video. Just saying. Just saying. Let's get started. So I'm playing the Zing, Zing's playing the Blackwings, yeah! And he opened up really fucking broke. He had the lower draws too, banishes the Zephyr, which is pretty interesting, but my opponent, I don't know really what's going on with my opponent here. He summons the Blizzard, goes for the Gale. Like, why would you summon that? You have Chris and stuff, like, it's, to me, maybe he's got some next level plays, I don't really know. But he's gonna summon up the Chris and summon up he's gonna really overextend, but no synchroning, which is kind of weird. But now I'm gonna get my my monster effect, which is really one. It's gonna Gale effect my Suwani, Gale effect my Pualo, and something like that. It's like he gets a feel for tuners now. He could have synchroned up, he could have done a lot of shenanigans, but now I'm gonna be able to go for that massive Leo that's unaffected by spell cards. And he's gonna try to Icarus me, but he can't target Leo, so I'm gonna compulsing, sending Pinaka back to his hand, because Pinaka is the more threatening card in my opinion, since it nets him a free search when it's synchro summoned, or when it leaves the field. So I'd rather get that off the field, because I don't really want to give him that search off of Pinaka. So I got my Jiaoto, I'm going to display save with Jiaoto, just attack at a Gale, main phase tunes, in phase, keeping Jiaoto in hand. So I don't really want to run the risk of anything too amazing. So he's going to flip Toronto Tribute, which is kind of annoying, because now he gets that Pinaka search to the Shura, which is like, oh, damn, that kind of sucks. So I'm going to set my Jiaotu and like, okay, he's got Shura, so Jiaotu is safe here. But he summons up the Shura and goes with the Kalut, attacks to my Jiaotu, and drops Kalut, really wanting that Shura effect, which I don't see much of a point in because I can summon Shuani, which now Suwani is automatically stronger than any monster you can really bring out with Shura, so not that big of a deal. I feel like the pretty big waste on the Shura there, on the Kalut, really. But now he does have an Armor Master, I guess maybe it was a good win for him, but now I get Swan plus Chewin plus Creation's effect. So now I get my Big C, which I wanted my Chewin, and now I get my my Beyond, so that makes an instant level 3, not level 3, a level 6 sync right there. But I'm going to tribute my Beyond and go for my Backseal, which he's going to Warning, which really does stink. I was really banking on that Backseal play, just kind of return shit, help me win the game. But oh well, I'm going to change the Oasis, so I can go especially with my Suwani. Suwani effect activates, Yang Creation effect activates. I summon my Bixie, and then Suwani summons up my Chewin. I'm going to go on the defensive. Chewin dies, but I do get my Sophia, my Fuxie, which makes my my little Bixie here a tuner, which is really nice. So I thought to get MST. I'm going to say MST and end my turn with that. Trying to see what it's trying to scout what he's going to try to do. He's going to summon up the Shura, and he's going to synchro up into the Goyo Guardian, which is like kind of nah, why you want to do that? But now I get my Creation effect. Bixie effect activates. Chewin's effect activates now, which is something really cool. So now I get my Beyond off of Bixie, and I have a Chin on the field. So now I have the ability to do a lot of crazy things. And with this, I top deck like Soul Charge, which is one of the most overpowered cards in the game. It really is. It's really stupid good in my opinion, especially when you have full life points at turn 17, and you have a grave full of freaking monsters you can just bring back. Like, huh, what do I want to choose? It's OP as shit. Let me see hitting a back row so I can sync her up to Black Rose. I want to try to make sure you have nothing for my Black Rose, like a Black Corner of Heaven or anything like that. So I'm going to Soul Charge and start showing 4 monsters with this Soul Charge. I'm taking half my life points, sync up into Bilzy, which now is unaffected by traps, unaffected by spells, and well, already could not be for a battle, but you know, I needed Beyond to make him. So, yeah, that is actually pretty cool. And this also shows the, so I'm going to pause it real quick again. This also shows the downside to him, Sophia Fuxi, because he's most in the graveyard, so, you know, but even though I had the Beyond, if I didn't have the Beyond, I wouldn't have been able to make Beelzy. So, yeah, since he was an extra deck, that's the downside to the Pendulum Monsters, but, oh, it's almost some Sirocco, ending his turn. So I'm like, okay, feel free to take all the damage. I'm just going to beat you down with pretty much my unstoppable Beelzy here, which is really cool. So, he's getting another Sirocco, summon Sirocco, and his turn. It's like, okay, I know he probably has Icarus Sack face down, but I don't really care, because I can beat you down with Beelzy. So he's down to 700 life points now, set the Book of Moon, just because, you know what, let's make him use that Icky, just because, why not? So I do top deck the MST, and I'm going to MST, you know what, MST, why the fuck not? Chase falls, like, okay, Billsy don't give a shit because of Dixie, and we pretty much attack for the game. So, Soul Charge to OP is so fucking awesome, but that's the power of the Zing. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the duel, and the deck profile, and this is officially the end of the video. Bye.